Prince Harry has always cherished his family. From his earliest days, he was seen as the spirited and loving younger son, always close to his father and brother. His love for his father, King Charles, has been evident in countless public and private moments, and his brother, Prince William, runs deep. The two brothers shared a bond that was the envy of many, often seen laughing and supporting each other. Despite the distance that has grown between them, Harry has never lost sight of the unbreakable bond they share. He often reflects on their shared memories and the times they stood by each other. The world has watched as their relationship has weathered storms, misunderstandings and public scrutiny. The pressures of royal life have tested their ties in ways few can comprehend. Through it all, Harry has held on to hope. He yearns for reconciliation, for a return to the closeness they once shared. His heart remains open to the possibility of mending their fractured relationship. He believes in the power of family, in the importance of forgiveness and understanding. Harry's unwavering belief in these values guides his actions and decisions. He believes in the power of family, in the importance of forgiveness and understanding. These principles have always been at the core of his being. The decision to step back from royal duties was not one Harry took lightly. It was a deeply personal choice made after much contemplation and soul-searching. The decision to step back from royal duties was not one Harry took lightly. It was a choice born out of necessity, a way to protect his wife, Meghan Markle. It was a choice born out of necessity, a way to protect his wife, Meghan Markle, and their children from the relentless pressures of royal life. The constant media scrutiny and public expectations had become unbearable. A way to protect his wife, Meghan Markle, and their children from the relentless pressures of royal life. The constant media scrutiny and public expectations had become unbearable, and their children from the relentless pressures of royal life. This decision, however, further strained his relationship with Charles and William. The rift widened, and the once close-knit family found themselves at odds. The release of Harry's memoir, Spare, marked a turning point in their relationship. It was a bold move, a raw and honest account of his life within and outside the royal family. Harry hoped it would be a catalyst for healing, a raw and honest account of his life within and outside the royal family. Harry hoped it would be a catalyst for healing, a way to share his truth and begin to mend the fractured bonds. Harry hoped it would be a catalyst for healing, a way to share his truth and begin to mend the fractured bonds. He remains optimistic that one day the rift will heal and the family will find their way back to each other, a way to share his truth and begin to mend the fractured bonds. He remains optimistic that one day the rift will heal and the family will find their way back to each other. With the publication of Spare, Harry laid bare his soul, revealing the innermost corners of his heart and mind. He shared his pain, his anger, and his deep sadness over the breakdown of his relationship with his family, hoping to shed light on his personal struggles. He wrote with vulnerability, hoping his words would reach their hearts, that they would understand the depth of his love and the reasons behind his choices. Each page was a testament to his desire for connection and understanding. He believed in the power of honesty to bridge the divide, to mend the fractures that had formed over the years. By sharing his truth, he hoped to encourage open communication, to create a space for understanding and forgiveness. He wanted to pave the way for a new beginning. The memoir was not intended as an attack, but as a plea for reconciliation, a heartfelt request for healing and unity. Harry knew that bearing his soul to the world would come with a price. That vulnerability often invites scrutiny. He understood that the contents of the book might cause hurt feelings and spark further controversy, but he was willing to take that risk. However, he felt compelled to share his story, believing that true healing could only begin with honesty and transparency. He wanted to break the silence that often surrounds family issues. His hope was that by laying bare his experiences, he could help others who have faced similar challenges, offering them a sense of solidarity and hope. He wanted to use his platform to advocate for mental health awareness and to encourage open conversations about the pressures of family dynamics, aiming to foster a more compassionate world. Spare became an instant global bestseller, capturing the hearts and minds of readers everywhere. People around the world connected deeply with Harry's vulnerability and honesty, finding solace in his words. They resonated with his struggles, his pain, and his unwavering hope for reconciliation, seeing reflections of their own lives. The book sparked important conversations about family, duty, and the weight of expectations, challenging readers to reflect on their own relationships. Despite the overwhelmingly positive reception from the public, the response from Buckingham Palace was a deafening silence. No public statements were made, no olive branches were offered, leaving a void where dialogue could have been. The silence was more than just a lack of response. It felt like a wall erected, a refusal to engage, a barrier to understanding. This silence was a bitter pill to swallow, a stark contrast to the openness Harry had shown. Harry had hoped for dialogue, for an open and honest conversation about the issues raised in his book, yearning for a breakthrough. He had hoped that by sharing his truth he would finally be heard, that his family would understand his perspective. The lack of response from his family was deeply hurtful, a wound that words could not heal. It felt like a confirmation of his fears, a sign that the chasm between them was wider than he had dared to imagine, a gap that seemed insurmountable. The silence from his family weighed heavily on Harry's heart. He had hoped for understanding, for empathy. Instead, he was met with a deafening silence that spoke volumes. It was a painful reminder of the deep rift that had formed between them. He struggled to reconcile the love he felt for his family with the pain their silence inflicted. He was caught in a web of conflicting emotions, torn between his desire for reconciliation and the hurt caused by their lack of response. The lack of communication only served to deepen the divide. It was a missed opportunity for healing, a chance for understanding and forgiveness that slipped away with each passing day. Despite the pain and disappointment, Harry refused to give up hope. He clung to the belief that love and forgiveness could conquer even the deepest wounds. He knew that reconciliation would require effort from both sides, and he was willing to do his part. In the aftermath of Spare's publication, Harry found himself navigating a complex emotional landscape. He was both heartened by the public's positive response and deeply saddened by his family's silence. He sought solace in the unwavering support of his wife Meghan and the love of his children. They were his anchor, his safe harbour in the storm. He found strength in sharing his story, in using his platform to advocate for mental health awareness and to encourage open conversations about difficult topics. Despite the challenges, Harry refused to give up on his family. He believed that time, patience, and open communication could help heal the wounds of the past. News of King Charles's illness sent shockwaves through Harry. Despite the distance between them, the love between a father and son remained. He rushed to be by his father's side, fear gripping his heart. Seeing his father unwell ignited a primal fear in Harry, a fear of history repeating itself. The sudden loss of his mother, Princess Diana, had left an unfillable void in his life. The thought of experiencing that pain again, this time with his father, was unbearable. The experience served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing loved ones. It made him even more determined to mend the fractured relationships in his life. He knew that life was too short for regrets and that tomorrow was never guaranteed. He was more determined than ever to find a way back to his family, to bridge the chasm that separated them. As Harry witnessed the media frenzy surrounding his father's illness, he couldn't help but see parallels to his mother's experience. The intrusive paparazzi, the relentless scrutiny, the constant pressure, it was all too familiar. He feared for Meghan. worried that she was being subjected to the same forces that had plagued his mother. He saw the toll that the constant negativity and attacks were taking on her, and he was determined to protect her. The parallels between their experiences only strengthened his resolve to break free from the cycle of pain and suffering. He wanted a different future for his children, a future free from the constraints and pressures of royal life. He knew that breaking free would not be easy, but he was willing to do whatever it took to protect his family and to create a life filled with love, peace, and authenticity. Despite the challenges, Harry has never given up hope of reconciliation. He understands that healing takes time, patience, and a willingness to listen and forgive. He is open to dialogue, to finding a way to move forward together. He believes that families are precious and that the bonds of love can withstand even the most difficult storms. He holds on to the memories of shared laughter, of childhood adventures, of the unwavering love that once bound them together. Harry knows that the path to reconciliation will not be easy. It will require compromise, understanding, and a willingness to let go of past hurts. He is prepared to do the work, to be patient, and to never stop reaching out. His hope is that one day they will find their way back to each other, stronger and more united than ever before. Despite the silence, the hurt, and the distance, Harry's love for his family remains. He holds on to the hope that one day they will find their way back to each other. He believes in the power of forgiveness, in the possibility of healing, in the enduring strength of family. He understands that reconciliation is a two-way street, and he's ready to do his part. He is committed to keeping his heart open, to extending grace, and to never giving up on the family he loves. The world watches and waits, hoping that one day the House of Windsor will find its way back to unity. And as for Harry, he will continue to hold on to hope, love, and the unwavering belief in the power of family.